Today's video is about the groovy world of 3D shoe printing. For example, this Wave Rider that I printed out on my Bambu Labs A1 printer out of flexible filament. And what we're going to do today is we're going to look at three types of shoes. One is a standard flip-flop sandal. One is an attempt to do a kind of a Birkenstock shoe. And another, the last one is going to be this sneaker type that was created in flexible PLA filament. And that is coming up next. All right, so this is the start of the 3D printed shoe roundup that I'm going to be doing. And this is the first shoe that I printed out. This is more of a standard flip-flop. It's got a bit of arch support over here. Pretty nice. Printed out flat on my A1 printer bed and came out pretty well. Treads nice. Only difficulty I had was that the straps printed out flat, and you have to push the strap all the way through and have it catch here. And some of these tore while I was originally trying to print out this shoe. But what's nice about 3D printing is that you can print just the parts you need. All I had to do was set the, the print plate to be just printing the straps and not this. And I'll put a link to these files as I review them. The next shoe was a bit more complicated. That was attempt to do a Birkenstock type of sandal. This is that kind of shoe. And one of the issues I had using the flexible filament is that the tree supports really got stuck under here where the treads are. I mean, just above where the tread is. So there's a bunch of tree supports in here. But considering that some of the early attempts to do 3D printed shoes had really little support, the trees inside here make this really more of a durable sandal. So this gets closer to actually being like a Birkenstock style sandal that you can print out yourself. And this mainly printed out directly on the plate of the A1 printer in my size 10 shoe size, which was one of my goals, was to just have it be as easy to set up and print as possible. And I really like the flexible filament, and I like how the entire bed is relatively smooth. And if I do have support issues, at least they're inside the part of the shoe that no one sees. There was a bit of an issue with printing on the bottom. It got a little ragged, but I don't think there's any sort of difficulty. And if I want to smooth out the edges, I can with like a deburring tool. That might be the next thing that I would do. The last shoe that I printed out was this Wave Rider, which is more of a sneaker type thing. And that came out pretty well. The main difficulty was getting into the A1 printer to print properly. At my shoe size, I had to angle it like crazy, I had to really get it angled in the printer so it printed properly, but it had some effects. For example, this side came out perfectly, perfect smooth. This side, because it was angled upward, has artifacts and issues that I'm going to have to sort of sand out. So if you see over here too, there's an example. This edge is where it finished up the job. And that's going to have to be smoothed over because it needs to be as smooth as the side on this side, right? But the fact that this could actually print out this kind of groovy sneaker, which you can wear and which is comfortable, you can do the cleanup. You can also get a thin, like Dr. Scholl's style footbed from Walgreens that is cut to fit or is the right size. Put that in there, and that would make this way comfortable. But I could actually see this being like a street shoe. I mean, it could do the job. And you can make them at home. So, yeah, interesting way to make shoes and to use a 3D printer. So that's the 3D printed shoe wrap up. as I discussed, this is a really interesting way to use your 3D printer to make shoes. And what I did for this test was I printed out 3 right shoes. And now the goal is to print out the 3 left shoes, because each of these prints progressively took more time. This Wave Rider shoe probably took at least 20 hours of printing on my A1 printer. But it worked. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe. It would definitely help the channel. Thanks.